And what if everything that exists is condemned to repeat itself because the information in the universe is finite? Imagine the silence after the last possible combination has been used. Not the silence of the absence of sound, but the silence of nothing new happening. This possibility is not just curious, it touches the center of our own idea of the future. If information is limited, then perhaps the unprecedented is a rare illusion. Perhaps every thought, every gesture, every star is already contained in a closed set. And that matters because we believe that tomorrow is open. The night seems to confirm this belief. When we look at the dark sky, we feel expansion. We feel enough space for infinite stories. But darkness does not prove infinity. It only hides what we do not see. Mentally walk down an empty road at night. The air is cold. The city lights have faded behind us. There is only the sky, deep and silent. The stars seem countless. But countless is not the same as infinite. Our mind associates abundance with the absence of limits. If there are many, we assume they have no end. However, many can still be a finite number. The observable universe has a horizon. There is a distance beyond which light has not yet reached us. This limit is not a wall. It is a delay, the time of light, the time it takes for information to travel. Each photon carries a fragment of history, a silent message about what happened. Light is moving information. When we look at a distant star, we see the past, not because the past is stored, but because it took information time to arrive. If information is finite, then what can be said about the universe is also finite. This does not mean small. It means delimited. Think of the information took time to arrive. If the information is finite, then what can be said about the universe is also finite. This does not mean small. It means delimited. Think of a very thick book, so thick that it would take lives to read it entirely. Still, every word is already there. Nothing beyond the last page can arise. Modern physics suggests something similar. There are limits to the amount of information that can fit in a region of space. This is not just a metaphor. It is a relationship between energy, area, and structure, as if the very space had maximum capacity, like a cosmic hard drive. This sounds too technical, but the implication is simple. The universe may have limited memory, and if memory is limited, possible states are also states are ways things can be organized. Particles can combine in various ways, but not infinitely. On human scales, this is imperceptible. There are enough combinations to appear infinite, just like a shuffled deck produces improbable arrangements. Still, the number of arrangements is defined. Large, but defined. If we had enough time, each arrangement could repeat. Not because time wants to repeat, but because possibilities run out. Go back to night. Imagine that each star represents a possible configuration of the cosmos. They shine as alternatives. But what if the sky is not an ocean without shores? And if it is a vast field, yet closed, there is a subtle difference between unlimited and immensely large. Our intuition confuses the two. When we think of infinity, we think of absolute freedom. We think of creativity without borders. But physics works with limits. Maximum speed, minimum energy, fundamental constants. These limits suggest structure. Structure implies boundary. Boundary implies finitude. This does not make the universe smaller. It makes it more defined. And definition carries consequences. Limits. maximum speed, minimum energy, fundamental constants. These limits suggest structure. Structure implies boundary. Boundary implies finitude. This does not make the universe smaller. It makes it more defined, and definition carries consequences. If the total number of possible states of the universe is finite, then in principle nothing completely new can arise beyond this set. The new would be only recombination. Like music created from a limited number of notes. Melodies seem infinite, but the notes are few. Still, this limitation does not destroy beauty. It may intensify it, because each combination becomes rare. Rarity creates meaning. The silence between two notes gives shape to music. Similarly, the void between stars gives shape to the sky. We speak of emptiness as absence. But quantum vacuum is not absolute nothingness. It has fluctuations. It has limits. It has mathematical structure. Even physical nothingness is regulated. There is no absolute chaos. There are invisible rules. And rules imply counting. Counting implies number. Number implies finitude or infinity. If information is finite, perhaps the universe is a closed system. Closed not in the sense of isolated, but in the sense of containing everything that can occur within itself. This idea produces a strange feeling, like being inside a library where the last shelf already exists, even if we never reach it. We live as readers who believe that new books are still being written. Perhaps they are only being discovered. The difference is delicate. If everything is already contained in fundamental possibilities, then creation is exploration, not expansion. But will this reduce freedom, or just redefine what it means to be free? When you think, your brain reorganizes atoms. These atoms obey physical laws. These laws limit how they can organize. Still, your thoughts seem unprecedented. Perhaps because the space of possibilities. Think. Your brain reorganizes atoms. These atoms obey physical laws. These laws limit how they can organize. Yet your thoughts seem unique. Perhaps because the space of possibilities is vast enough to simulate infinity. The finite can be so large that for any practical purpose it behaves as unlimited. Just like the Earth's surface appears flat under our feet. But we know it is curved. The horizon is an apparent limit. The cosmic horizon is also. There is a maximum amount of information that can be stored within a volume of space. This idea was suggested from the study of black holes. They do not just consume matter. They delimit information. The area of a black hole's event horizon is related to the amount of information it can contain, not to its volume, to its area. This inverts our intuition. It suggests that deep reality may be inscribed on the surface, as if the universe were a hologram. A hologram does not contain infinite details. It contains enough to reconstruct an image. Perhaps reality itself is like this. A projection of encoded information at limits. If it is true, then infinity may just be a mathematical approximation. Useful, elegant, but not literal. Mathematics allows for infinities. Nature may prefer limits. Limits create borders. Borders create shape. Shape creates identity. What worries us is not the finitude itself. It is the possibility of repetition. If combinations are finite and time is long enough, configurations can reappear. Somewhere beyond our horizon, there may be an identical arrangement of particles, an arrangement that replicates this night. This voice this thought, not because there is intention, but because the count allows for repetition. This hypothesis is uncomfortable. It challenges our sense of singularity, but it also expands it. If night, this voice, this thought, not because there is intention, but because the counting allows for repetition, this hypothesis is uncomfortable. It challenges our sense of singularity, but it also expands it. If each configuration is one among many possible, then the rarity of being here now gains another weight. Rare does not mean absolutely unique. It means improbable within a limited set. Improbability is a form of value. The night continues silently. The wind moves invisible leaves. The sky remains indifferent. But within this indifference, there can be a counting. Each interaction between particles alters the total stock of possible states realized, as if the universe were exploring its own list. There's no intention in this exploration. There are only consequences. Physical laws allow certain arrangements and prohibit others. This permission is the mold of reality. Without a mold, there is no frame. Without limits, there is no recognizable form. The idea of finite information does not answer everything. It opens new questions. If information is finite, it is distributed uniformly or concentrated. There is information loss or only transformation. When something disappears, like a collapsing star, the associated information extinguishes or reorganizes. Physics tends to preserve information, even when it seems lost, as inside a black hole. Theory suggests that it remains encoded. This reinforces the notion of fixed stock. Nothing really fades away. Everything changes form. If so, the universe is a system that reconfigures a constant set of data, like a game with limited pieces. The games vary. The pieces do not, and we are part of these pieces. Our bodies, our thoughts, our memories. We are temporary patterns in a finite set. This does not diminish us. It situates us. Human scale is small compared to the cosmic. But the question of finitude traverses both. The human brain also has limited capacity for finite. This does not diminish us. It situates us. The human scale is small compared to the cosmic, but the question of finitude traverses both. The human brain also has a limited storage capacity. Yet it produces ideas that seem limitless. Perhaps because well-structured limits generate creativity. A poet with a finite vocabulary creates new verses. A composer with limited notes creates unheard symphonies. Finitude does not prevent innovation. It makes it combinatorial. If the universe is combinatorial, then each galaxy is a sentence. Each star, a word. Each atom, a letter. The alphabet is fixed. Stories vary, but even stories have a total possible number. Enormous, but not necessarily infinite. This idea changes our relationship with time. If possibilities are finite, time may be the mechanism that traverses them. Like a pointer passing through positions on a circular clock. We do not know if time is linear or cyclic at extreme scales. But we know that it measures change. Change is reorganization of information. If there were no change, there would be no perceived time. The night advances slowly. The stars move imperceptibly. The universe seems static. But beneath this appearance, everything vibrates. Particles appear and disappear.